Let's be real. Nothing shakes your core like someone playing hard to get. The silence, the mixed signals, the occasional breadcrumbs of attention, they toy with your mind like a cat with a cornered mouse. You start spiraling. Did I do something wrong? Should I reach out again? Was it ever real? Stop right there. Here's the brutal truth. It's not you. It's a power play. A calculated game designed to keep you on edge, second-guessing yourself. You're not the first to be caught in it, and you won't be the last. But here's the twist. The real danger isn't them playing hard to get. It's how you respond. Most people fall into the same toxic pattern: overthinking, overgiving, overchasing. Society has programmed us to believe that if someone pulls away, it's our job to win them back, to prove we're worthy of their time. What a dangerous lie. The moment you chase, you've already lost. Think of life as a brutal, ancient battleground, a kingdom ruled by power, control, and dominance. In this game, the one who stays composed holds the throne, and the one who panics becomes a pawn. When someone plays hard to get, they're testing your mind, your self-worth, your patience. They expect you to break first, to doubt yourself, to fall into desperation. But not you. You are not prey. You are not disposable. Here's the mindset shift. You are royalty, the ruler of your life. And kings and queens don't chase. They command. They move with purpose, dignity, and strength. When someone withdraws or plays games, you don't plead for scraps of attention. You rise above it. You don't lower your standards because someone is playing a petty power game. You hold your ground like a fortress that cannot be breached. The second you realize your worth doesn't come from someone else's approval is the second you become untouchable. A king never kneels to a jester. This isn't about revenge in the petty sense. There's no room for childish games or empty tactics here. Real revenge is reclaiming your power, peace, and presence. It's about becoming so strong, so grounded, that no one's absence shakes your kingdom. Because while others waste energy playing tricks, you'll be building an empire. And when they realize what they lost, they'll understand. You were never playing their game. You were mastering your own. Rule your world, or be ruled by it. The choice is yours. So affirm with me right now: I don't chase. Say it out loud. Feel the power behind those words. Own it. You're done playing their game. You're building your own empire. Drop "I don't chase" in the comments if you're claiming your crown today. Let the world know where you stand. And hey, smash that like button and subscribe for more hard-hitting truths that awaken your inner power. Now, let's dive into it. Number 1. Stop chasing shadows. Become the flame. When someone pulls away, the instinct to obsess over their every move kicks in. Why are they distant? Did I say something wrong? Are they losing interest? These questions swirl like a storm, dragging you into a mental spiral. But here's a harsh truth. Every second spent analyzing them is a second stolen from you. What if, instead of asking why they're cold, you asked yourself, how can I become so magnetic, so powerful, that their behavior becomes irrelevant? Imagine being so anchored in your worth that their silence is nothing more than background noise. A flame doesn't chase the moth. It burns so brightly the world comes to it. See, chasing someone's attention is like running after shadows. You never catch them, and you exhaust yourself in the process. The harder you chase, the faster they slip away. This isn't just about them pulling back. It's about you shifting your focus inward, where the real power lies. Think about it. When was the last time you prioritized yourself, truly and unapologetically. When was the last time you stopped living in reaction to someone else's behavior and started living by your own standards? The truth is, value attracts value. People are drawn to those who are centered, driven, and unapologetically themselves. Desperation repels. Confidence magnetizes. You can't fake it. You have to become it. A king doesn't beg for a seat at the table. He builds his own throne. But let's be real. Becoming magnetic isn't about playing games or pretending you don't care. It's about building a life so rich and fulfilling that anyone who walks away becomes irrelevant. Your happiness should never be in someone else's hands. Start by pouring energy into your world. Reignite that project you've been putting off. Dive into your career with unstoppable focus. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, not those who drain your light. Create a reality so extraordinary that people can't help but notice. The moment you shift from seeking to becoming, everything changes. You stop living in reaction and you start living with intention. People will sense it. They'll feel the shift. And here's the twist. The ones who pulled away will suddenly notice, but by then you might not care anymore. A queen never wonders if she's worthy. She builds a kingdom where her worth is undeniable. Understand this. Focusing on your value isn't about manipulating others into coming back. It's about reclaiming your throne, your mind, your energy, your life. When you live with purpose, you radiate a kind of confidence that no game can break, no silence can shake. So, when they pull back, let them. Don't chase shadows. Be the flame. Burn so brightly that you light up your own path, and let those worthy of your light find their way to you. Number 2. Mirror the game. Don't play the fool. Let's be real. How many times have you caught yourself overanalyzing everything? Every text, every emoji, every pause between responses feels like a puzzle you're desperately trying to solve. Your mind races. Why did he take so long to reply? Did I say something wrong? Why is he so cold now when he was so warm before? Stop right there. You were never meant to decode someone's intentions like a detective chasing a cold trail. This isn't a mystery. You're living in your story, not starring in theirs. The more you lean in when they pull away, the more you tip the balance of power. You start overextending, overthinking, overgiving. But here's the golden rule. Match their energy. Don't exceed it. If they're distant, why are you leaning closer? If they're unclear, why are you bending over backwards to be transparent? It's like pouring water into a cup with a hole at the bottom. You'll never fill it. Don't dance harder when they've left the floor. Life isn't a solo act, and neither are relationships. They're a dance, a rhythm, a give and take. You can't carry the entire performance alone without looking desperate. And, trust me, desperation is the fastest way to lose respect. High-value people observe. They don't assume. They watch patterns, not promises. They let actions speak louder than words. If someone's inconsistent, flaky, or distant, let them be. You're not here to play guessing games or prove your worth through endless effort. A king watches from his throne. He doesn't chase footsteps in the sand. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to lose. There's a difference. Playing hard to get is about manipulation. Matching energy is about self-respect. It's about showing the world that your effort is earned, not given away for free. Think of it like this. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror. Whatever the mirror reflects, you reflect back. If they're cold, you become calm, not reactive, not emotional. If they lean in, you engage. but you never step so far forward that you lose your balance. You're not here to force connection, you're here to receive it. But what if they lose interest when I stop overextending? Good, let them. That's not a loss, it's a filter. People who are only interested when you're chasing them were never worth your time in the first place. Someone who values you will match your energy, and when they don't, you'll know exactly where you stand. If they stop reaching, don't extend your hand farther. Hold your crown higher. This doesn't mean you should be cold or manipulative in return. It means don't pour from an empty cup. Don't shrink yourself to keep someone interested. Don't invest in someone who's not investing in you. When you stop overextending, you force them to make a choice. Step up or step aside. There's no third option, and in that stillness, you reclaim your power. You're no longer reacting, you're responding with intention. Think about it. When you meet someone halfway, you create balance. But when you're always the one reaching further, you teach them that your effort is guaranteed, that they can slack off because you'll always pick up the slack. Not anymore. A queen never walks a path alone. She waits for a worthy companion to meet her at the gates. Matching energy isn't about revenge or playing mind games. It's about respecting your time, your effort, and your emotional energy. You're saying, I'm here if you're here, but I won't carry this alone. You're teaching them that your effort has limits, and limits command respect. By mirroring their effort, you allow them to show their true intentions. You're giving them the chance to step up without pressure or manipulation. You're creating space for them to choose to be present. If they don't, well, you've already learned what you needed to know, without losing yourself in the process. So, when they go quiet, don't fill the silence with your voice. When they pull back, don't chase after them. And when they give you less, don't give more hoping it will fix things. A throne isn't earned by those who chase. It's claimed by those who stand their ground. Remember this, matching energy isn't passive, it's powerful. It shows strength, confidence, and self-worth. You're not closing the door, you're standing in your truth. You're letting people choose, but you're also showing them that your standards don't bend for anyone. Because when you respect your energy, the right people will too. And those who don't? They were never meant to be part of your kingdom. Number 3. Draw the line or be crossed. Picture this. They text you one day, showering you with attention, making plans that sound promising. The next day, they vanish like smoke in the wind, silent, distant, unreachable. You feel trapped in a cycle of hope and disappointment, stuck in a guessing game where the rules keep changing. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the cold truth. People can only treat you as inconsistently as you allow. Every time you accept their excuses, brush off cancelled plans, or forgive repeated disrespect without action, you reinforce the idea that you'll always be there. A castle without walls invites the storm. Boundaries aren't about controlling them, they're about protecting you. They're the invisible walls that keep your kingdom safe, the lines that define what behavior is acceptable and what is absolutely not. Without them, you become easy to manipulate, easier to disregard. With them, you become untouchable. Let's get something straight. Setting boundaries isn't about creating drama, giving ultimatums, or being hard to get. It's about self-respect. It's about making your standards crystal clear and standing firm, not just with your words, but with your actions. Speak softly, but carry an unshakable will. But what if they think I'm being too harsh? Good. Boundaries should filter people out. Those who genuinely value you will step up, adjust, and respect the space you require. The ones who walk away? Consider them self-eliminated from your life. You didn't lose anything. You just saved yourself from future disappointment. Here's where most people get stuck. They think setting boundaries means explaining themselves, over-justifying their reasons, or softening the blow with apologies. Stop that. You don't owe anyone a justification for your standards. You don't need permission to demand respect. Communicate clearly, calmly, and confidently. No yelling, no emotional outbursts, no long-winded explanations. A true ruler commands with presence, not noise. A king's decree needs no defense. It is law. Imagine this scenario. They cancel plans for the third time. They're charming, they apologize, they promise to make it up to you. But this time, instead of brushing it off or pretending you're okay, you respond calmly. I value my time and expect consistency. If you can't honor that, I can't make space for this. No anger, no begging, just clarity. You're showing, not telling, that you take yourself seriously. But what if they don't change? Here's the truth. Most people don't want to face. Boundaries aren't about changing them. They're about honoring yourself. If someone repeatedly disrespects your standards, believe them. They've shown you who they are. At this point, your next move isn't another conversation. It's action. Withdraw your energy. Don't explain. Don't threaten. Just be gone. A ruler doesn't argue with those who defy the law. They remove them from the court. The throne belongs to those who walk away when respect is denied. But what if I care too much to let go? Care is irrelevant when respect is missing. You can love someone deeply, but love without respect is a prison, not a partnership. Boundaries aren't about not caring, they're about caring for yourself first. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're survival. What if they accuse me of being cold or difficult? Let them. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always resist when you finally set them. Expect pushback. Expect guilt-tripping. Expect emotional manipulation. Stay unmoved. Because here's the secret. The right people won't be offended by your boundaries. They'll be inspired by them. They'll recognize that someone who values themselves at such a high level is someone worth respecting, worth investing in. A queen doesn't raise her voice to be heard. Her presence speaks louder than words. But how do I keep from feeling guilty? Guilt is just the residue of old conditioning telling you that putting yourself first is wrong. It's not. Society has trained many of us to be people pleasers, to smooth over conflict, to sacrifice ourselves for the sake of peace. But real peace doesn't come from avoiding confrontation. It comes from setting clear expectations and living by them. Your time, your energy, your love, these are precious resources. They're not to be given away cheaply, recklessly, or without reciprocity. Boundaries ensure that you're surrounded by people who earn their place in your life, not just occupy space. A king doesn't open the gates for every passerby, only those worthy of the kingdom. So, when someone sends mixed signals, plays with your time, or treats you like an afterthought, you don't argue, you don't beg, and you definitely don't chase. You draw the line, and you mean it. Communicate your boundaries once, with class and clarity. No hostility, no threats, just simple, undeniable standards. And if they test your limits again, show, don't tell, leave. Because here's the truth. Boundaries repel the wrong people and attract the right ones. They signal to the world that you are not easily moved, not easily fooled, and never easily controlled. And that kind of power, unstoppable. Respect isn't asked for, it's earned by how you carry yourself. So, draw the line or be crossed. Your boundaries are your fortress. They guard your peace, your energy, and your worth. Protect them fiercely, because no one else will. Number 4. Crown effort, not empty promises. Let's be real. How many times have you accepted excuses just because they came wrapped in charm, smooth words, or heartfelt apologies? I've been so busy. You know I care about you. Things have just been crazy lately. Sound familiar? Excuses are emotional currency for people who want the benefits of your presence without the responsibility of showing up. They promise castles, but deliver sand. If you've ever found yourself waiting, hoping, or believing that things will change, you've already given away your power. But here's the hard truth. A king rewards loyalty, not lip service. A queen honors action, not apologies. Intentions mean nothing without execution. People who truly value you don't hide behind excuses. They make effort look effortless, because when someone cares, showing up isn't a task, it's a priority. They won't just say, "I'll do better." They'll be better. They won't just promise the moon, they'll bring the stars without being asked. So why do so many of us fall for excuses? Because we want to believe in potential. We see who they could be instead of who they are right now. We accept promises because hope feels better than disappointment. But here's the brutal truth. Potential is meaningless without action. It's a trap that keeps you stuck in almost. A crown is never won with words. It's claimed through deeds. Stop rewarding apologies. Start rewarding effort. There's a difference between understanding someone's struggles and enabling laziness. Life gets busy, sure, but effort isn't about grand gestures. It's about consistent presence, the little things that show they care even when it's inconvenient, when they follow through and show up, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard, show genuine appreciation. Effort thrives on recognition, not because they need validation, but because appreciation builds connection. Be warm, be kind, and show gratitude, but only when it's earned. When they offer excuses instead of action, calmly state your boundaries, not with anger, not with emotional outbursts, but with unshakable clarity. Let them know, "I appreciate your words, but I respond to actions." You're not punishing them. You're setting the tone for how you expect to be treated. You're communicating that being in your life is a privilege, not a right. A queen doesn't lower her standards. She raises the expectations of those around her. When someone's full of excuses, it's easy to get emotional, angry, disappointed, hurt. But the most powerful response is emotional neutrality. Don't get caught in emotional negotiations. Stay grounded, stay steady. Respond with facts, not feelings. They'll either rise to meet your level or fade away. Either way, you've saved yourself time and heartbreak. When words stop matching behavior, pull back. Stop making excuses for them. Stop filling in the gaps. Stop hoping they'll change, if only. People will only rise as high as your standards require. If they don't, walk away with your crown intact. A throne isn't shared with those who can't stand beside you. But what about compassion? Shouldn't you be understanding? Yes, but with limits. Being compassionate doesn't mean being a doormat. You can be empathetic without being manipulated. You can be understanding without being taken for granted. Love without standards becomes self-betrayal. Here's the bottom line. You set the standard for how you're treated. When you accept repeated excuses, you're sending a message. Words are enough to keep me. But when you reward effort and dismiss excuses, you shift the balance of power. You teach people that being in your life requires action, not just intention. And here's the kicker. The right people will rise to meet you. They'll see your worth and show up consistently, not out of obligation, but because they want to be there. And those who don't, they'll drift away. And that's a blessing, not a loss. A true king never makes promises. He makes progress. Imagine living a life where you no longer wait for someone to follow through, where you no longer cling to hollow promises, where people around you know that words alone won't keep them in your world, that actions are the only currency you accept. That's real power. That's real value. So the next time someone shows up with apologies, but no action, remember, you're not punishing them. You're honoring yourself. You're setting a standard that only the worthy can meet. You're creating space for those who truly deserve a place in your life. A queen doesn't need promises. She demands results. You are the ruler of your world. Crown effort, dismiss excuses, and watch how everything around you changes. Number 5. Crush his games and focus on yourself. There's a strange, almost mystical power in silence, a force so underestimated, yet so devastatingly effective. When someone expects a reaction, anger, frustration, pleading, but is met with calm indifference, everything changes. Their entire strategy crumbles because the game they're playing relies on your participation. Silence is the most powerful scream. Men, and people in general, who play hard to get, are fueled by one thing: control. They thrive on knowing they're under your skin, living rent-free in your mind, while you twist yourself into knots trying to figure them out. Every anxious thought, every over-analyzed text, every second spent wondering why, is exactly what they want. But here's the twist. What if you simply stopped playing? What if you removed yourself from the board entirely? No reaction, no response, no explanation, just silence. The second you disengage, you flip the power dynamic. You become an unpredictable force, one they can no longer manipulate. They're left guessing, wondering what changed, why their usual tricks aren't working. Suddenly, they're the ones questioning themselves. A king never explains his silence. It speaks louder than words ever could. Let's get something clear. Ignoring their games isn't about avoidance. It's about empowerment. It's about recognizing when your energy is being drained and redirecting it where it belongs. Back to you. You've spent enough time running mental marathons over someone who isn't matching your effort. It's time to withdraw that energy like a royal decree. You don't win by fighting the game. You win by leaving the arena. Picture yourself standing in a grand hall, wearing a crown of unshakable confidence. They're playing petty games, tossing out mixed signals and manipulation like cheap tricks at a carnival. But you? You don't even glance their way. You're too busy ruling your empire, focused on building a life so extraordinary that their absence becomes irrelevant. This isn't about being cold or heartless. It's about being selective. Your energy is currency, far too valuable to be spent on someone who plays games instead of showing up with honesty and intention. What if they lose interest if I ignore them? Good. Let them. If your silence drives them away, they were never serious to begin with. Someone who truly values you will step up when they realize your energy isn't guaranteed. They'll show consistency, effort, and genuine interest, not mind games. But if they vanish into thin air, consider it a blessing. You've just dodged a lifetime of uncertainty, anxiety, and manipulation. No one worthy of your time will make you question your value. A queen's worth is never measured by who stays. It's measured by who steps up. So, what should you focus on instead of playing their game? Yourself. Every moment spent obsessing over their next move is a moment stolen from your goals, dreams, and peace of mind. Imagine what you could build if you redirected that mental energy toward your own growth. Start chasing your own ambitions, not someone's fleeting attention. Dive into that passion project you've been putting off. Reclaim your fitness goals, invest in your career, explore new hobbies, or even plan that trip you've been dreaming about. Build a life that excites you, a life so full that their absence becomes meaningless. The best revenge is no revenge, just living better. Something incredible happens when you focus on yourself. You become magnetic, not just to the person playing games, but to everyone. There's an irresistible energy about someone who is confident, fulfilled, and thriving. People notice, opportunities arise, and suddenly the game you thought you were losing becomes insignificant compared to the empire you're building. But won't ignoring them make me seem rude or mean? Absolutely not. Silence isn't rude. It's clarity. It's a clear signal that you don't entertain nonsense, that you value your peace more than their approval. You're not here to cater to mixed signals or play guessing games. You're here for real effort, real connection, and real respect. A throne is not shared with fools. It's reserved for the worthy. And here's the secret most people don't realize. Silence creates space. Space for them to rethink their actions, to miss your presence, to realize they can no longer toy with your emotions. But more importantly, it creates space for you, space to heal, grow, and become the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Remember this: your energy is sacred. Stop pouring it into games you didn't sign up to play. When someone expects a reaction, deny them the pleasure. When they bait you with mixed signals, don't bite. Silence is your sword, indifference your shield. The most powerful move you'll ever make is walking away without looking back. So, ignore their games. Focus on yourself. Build a life that doesn't depend on their presence, one that flourishes regardless of who stays or goes. Because at the end of the day, a true king or queen doesn't beg for attention. They command respect simply by existing. And when they realize what they've lost, it'll be far too late, because by then you'll be too busy ruling your empire to notice. Number 6. Disappear like a whisper, be missed like a legend. There's a strange, undeniable truth about human nature. We only appreciate what we think we've lost. It's a cruel irony. People often realize someone's worth only after they've walked away. But here's where you reclaim your power. Stop waiting to be appreciated. Remove yourself from the equation and let them feel your absence. When someone takes your energy, your kindness, and your time for granted, you have two choices. Keep giving until you're empty, or step back and let them experience what life looks like without you. This isn't about manipulation. It's about restoring balance. It's about respecting your own worth enough to stop pouring energy into someone who isn't pouring anything back. Because the truth is, people don't notice what they have until they feel the cold emptiness left in its absence. You were never meant to be background music. You were meant to be the whole symphony. Think about it. When you're always available, always the one reaching out, always fixing what's broken, you become a given in their life. They expect you to be there because you always have been. You've set the standard that your time and attention are guaranteed, no matter how they behave. But what happens when you go silent? What happens when the text notifications stop lighting up their phone? When the comfort of your constant presence vanishes into thin air? They notice. At first it might just be a flicker of curiosity, a passing thought. Why haven't I heard from them? But as time stretches on, curiosity turns into discomfort. That familiar sense of security they took for granted. Gone. A king knows the value of his crown only when it's no longer on his head. But let me be clear, this isn't about playing games. This isn't some petty tactic designed to get them to chase you. This is about reclaiming your life. It's about pouring all that energy you use to give away freely back into yourself. You are the prize. And anyone who can't see that on their own, they were never worthy to begin with. Let me ask you, when was the last time you focused solely on you? When was the last time you poured all that love, attention, and care into your own soul instead of scattering it like breadcrumbs for someone else to follow? Stop being the lighthouse for someone who chooses to remain lost at sea. When you step back, something powerful happens. You create space. Space for them to reflect, to notice, to feel. And in that space, they'll either realize what they've lost, or they won't. But either way, you'll be free. Free to grow, free to thrive, free to rise without waiting for anyone to catch up. But what if they don't notice? What if they never come back? Good. Let that be your answer. If someone can live without your light, your energy, and your love, let them. It's a painful truth, but a necessary one. Not everyone is meant to stay. And that's okay, because their absence creates space for someone better. A queen never begs to be remembered. She is unforgettable by nature. Here's what you need to remember. Your worth doesn't diminish just because someone failed to see it. Their inability to recognize your value is a reflection of them, not you. Don't let someone's blindness to your greatness convince you that you're less than extraordinary. Imagine yourself as a rare, priceless work of art. The right person won't need explanations or reminders. They'll see your brilliance without being told. But some people will walk past the masterpiece without a second glance. That's not your concern. So, let them miss you. Not as a tactic, but as a consequence of underestimating you. When you stop being easily accessible, you become rare. And in a world that craves instant gratification, rarity is power. A king doesn't advertise his crown. Its brilliance speaks for itself. While they're busy realizing what they lost, you'll be busy living your best life. While they replay old memories, you'll be creating new ones. While they wonder, what if, you'll be saying, what's next? And when they finally understand what they had, maybe, just maybe, they'll try to come back. But by then, you'll be so far ahead, they'll barely be a memory. This isn't about being bitter. It's about being better. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that losing you feels like the consequence it truly is. So stop chasing, stop explaining, stop proving, start living. Let them wonder, let them miss, let them feel the weight of your absence, because while they're stuck looking back, you'll be busy building your kingdom. Number 6. Know when to close the chapter. Not every story deserves a sequel. Every story in life has a breaking point, a moment when you must face the truth and make the hardest decision. Do you stay or walk away? If someone's actions leave you feeling uncertain, undervalued, or drained more often than uplifted, it's time to pause and ask yourself the one question most people avoid. Is this person truly worth my time, my energy, and my heart? The answer won't come easily, but the truth is often simple. It's just hard to accept. We cling to potential, to memories of how things used to be, to promises that were made but never kept. We hold on, hoping things will magically change, but deep down, we already know the answer. Hope without action is the slowest kind of heartbreak. Think about it. Would a king beg to be noticed in his own court? Would a queen lower her crown to be seen by someone beneath her standards? Of course not. And yet, too often, we shrink ourselves to fit into a life where we're not truly valued, just because letting go feels scarier than holding on. But here's the reality. Walking away isn't defeat. It's a bold, unapologetic declaration of self-respect. It's standing in your power and saying, I deserve more, and I won't settle for less. A king never pleads for loyalty. He commands it by the life he builds. You don't walk away because you're weak. You walk away because you're done sacrificing your peace for someone who doesn't see your worth. You walk away because your value isn't defined by how someone treats you. It's defined by how you allow yourself to be treated. But what if you are scared to leave? Good. Fear is proof that this decision matters. Fear means you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. But ask yourself, what's scarier, facing the unknown or staying trapped in a cycle that's slowly breaking you? Comfort is a cage disguised as safety. Walking away means choosing yourself, and that's never the wrong choice. It's reclaiming your energy, your time, and your future from someone who doesn't deserve them. It's breaking free from a one-sided connection where you've been pouring from an empty cup. But here's the part most people miss. Walking away isn't just about leaving them. It's about returning to yourself. It's about creating space for something better, someone who sees you, values you, and chooses you without games or hesitation. And even if that person never comes along, you still win. Why? Because you become whole on your own. You become the ruler of your own life, the architect of your own happiness. A queen doesn't wait for rescue, she builds her own kingdom. But what if they try to come back after you've walked away? What if they suddenly realize what they lost? Simple. Let them miss you, but don't lower your standards. Let them see what it feels like to lose someone who was worth everything, but only if their actions back up their words. Empty apologies change nothing. Consistent behavior changes everything. The gates to your kingdom don't open for promises, they open for proven loyalty. And if they never come back, if they move on without a second glance, let them. You don't lose when someone leaves. You win clarity. You gain the freedom to build a life where you're loved, without conditions, without manipulation, without being made to feel less than. You win yourself. Walking away isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign that you finally understand your worth. It's choosing peace over chaos, respect over empty affection, and self-love over external validation. It's deciding that you deserve more, and that you're willing to face the unknown to find it. A king doesn't cling to what's crumbling. He rebuilds stronger. Remember this: closure isn't something they give you. Closure is a gift you give yourself when you decide that enough is enough. It's realizing that their inability to see your worth doesn't make you any less valuable. It just makes them blind. So if you're standing at that crossroads, unsure of what to do, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this person worthy of the life I'm building? Are they worthy of my loyalty, my time, my love? And if the answer is no, you know what to do. Because in the end, you're not just walking away from them. You're walking toward a future that aligns with your value, your potential, and your power. You're choosing to close the chapter, not because the story wasn't important, but because your story isn't finished yet, and what comes next will be written by you. A queen doesn't wait for a happy ending. She creates one. Now, are they truly worth it? Or is it time to reclaim your crown? Final step: reclaim your throne. Life is too short for mixed signals, empty promises, or playing endless mind games. Real ones show up, fully, consistently, and without hesitation. The right person won't keep you guessing or make you feel like you're asking for too much. They'll meet you where you are, honoring your time, boundaries, and worth. But until that day comes, you become the standard. You build the life you want, rise higher, and refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. You are the prize, always have been. Let this be the day you stop chasing, stop overextending, and stop explaining your worth. Step into your power, reclaim your energy, and take control of your story. If someone can't appreciate your light, let them watch from the shadows. A king doesn't beg for loyalty. A queen doesn't wait for permission. Now ask yourself, what's one bold step you'll take today to reclaim your power? Drop it in the comments below. Declare it, own it, and inspire someone else to rise. And hey, smash that like button if you're done with games and ready to rule your life with intention. Subscribe for more content that sharpens your mind and strengthens your spirit. Remember, you are worthy, you are powerful, you are unstoppable. Now, go build your kingdom.